All right, hey, what's up, guys? Coach Mac, Play Fast Football. Today we're going to take a look at a stick theory on the front side with an H option on the back side, something that's kind of big, getting one-on-one matchups on the back side if you can. We're going to look at it, motioning a guy in, and some of the ways that the college and the NFL guys are running it. Make sure you check out some of our partners. GameStrat sideline replay system we use. I've had it at school I'm currently at. We're using it. I've had it at the last two schools I've been at. Absolutely love it. Baker Sports, which provides shirts like this for the coaching staff, spirit packs for our players, uniforms for our players. You can have a fan store on there. You can get your gear, coaches, players, fans. Make sure you check out Baker Sports. Dome Hats, which is the headwear company we use with Play Fast Football and the school that I'm currently at. Custom hats, if you love them, go to Dome. DifferenceUSA, the ultimate striking machine. We have one, 2 or 3 in our weight room that we set up in the off season to work on striking. Elbows in, thumbs up. Thousands of reps, don't need a partner. All right, JustPlayFB, which is the playbook tool we use here at the school I'm currently at. And then also I use it with some of my website stuff on Patreon. And if I'm ever going to speak at clinics, I use JustPlay for their play drawing tool and then also their presentation mode. Check them out. HighandTight ball security training aid. Ball has to be held in the proper position, proper points of pressure. You hear the beep. Once you hear the beep, you know that's where the ball belongs. If you lose the beep, you know you've done something wrong with either pressure or where the ball is being held. All right, TDPublishing, they make books, videos to help grow the profession, educate coaches. Check out their most recent video that they've got out, a 6-part series on Ferris State, the Division II national champions. All right, and then a company that I'm going to start working with, CoachTools, which is a player evaluation tool. It's a customizable grading tool for you to do some more work grading your players. You can build in depth charts into it, so it's got a couple different functions. If you're kind of tired of that old-fashioned way, or maybe yellow pad, how you grade your players, or your players don't understand the way you grade them, this is completely customizable, makes it a lot easier, all right, integrating technology into the player grading system. All right, so right now I've got 2x2 drawn up, and I've just got a classic middle of the field open scenario here. All right, so a split field coverage, all right, working against even front, 4-2-5, whatever it may be. And what we've got right now is on the outside, I've got the H, which would be, in the NFL world, that would be maybe your Kelsey, all right, Gronk, guys like that, possibly starting at number 1, so that when we put the X at the number 2, all right, it hides the fact that he's a compressed split. It makes him look like a normal number 2 receiver, okay? So then when we motion the H back inside to become the number 2, now we've got that good compressed look. Plus, it's going to give the quarterback a lot of times a little bit of an alert, possibly to man or zone or what they're trying to do in coverage. Okay, plus the bodies sometimes will tell us man or zone if they, all right, if they match that with a potential backer or somebody like that. We know that we might be getting man theories, all right, if that's a corner out there or possibly the nickel or whoever's matched up on the tight end or whoever that, you know, if it's Kelsey or Gronk or somebody like that. If they're matched up on them, we know what we got. The motion gives that quarterback a little bit of an indicator, gets us back into that nice compressed look where when it's, sometimes when I draw up 3x1 next, sometimes when you, in 3x1, if that's a single, you can tell that he's compressed. So what they'll do with that is they'll go 3x2 empty, motion the back into the backfield, okay? So just trying to kind of dress that up a little bit. Motion is always good, all right, to kind of not only give an alert to quarterbacks for coverage, but it sometimes pattern match stuff. Defenses have to be really good communicating what they're doing, who's going to become the new 1, who's going to become the new 2, what are we reading off of, because right before the snap of the ball, that picture changes. To the front side, we've just got standard stick drawn up, all right, outside, mandatory outside release, vertical by 1. We've got the stick route by 2. We've got the push flare by the back. And the reason we've got the push flare is because in this world, and talking about a read away from Mike theory, all right, or that Ram theory that we've talked about before, if we're a read away from Mike, we like to push flare the back, simply because a lot of times with leverage, that's going to alert us on whether the Mike is going to push and try and find that new number 3, whether the Sam is going to push. So if the Sam pushes, the stick route's got a chance. All right, the stick route won't work outside to the Sam, it'll settle. But if the Mike pushes, then we know we're going to go backside, because now what we've got on the backside from the compressed split, which again starts looking like a number 2, but it's actually going to become the number 1. He's got the corner out, and there's an alert up here. So if you get man coverage, you might need to alert that corner out. You've possibly built in an alert to the top side vertical, okay, which will become the slot fade in 3x1. But that's a man alert, man free alert possibly if the safety's in the middle of the field and you're getting man and you've got a guy that you think you can win. If we get the Mike pushing and we're going to go back to the option side, Now you've got the three-way go, and you're pretty much guaranteeing that you can get isolated on the will if it stays in that pattern match world and they don't cloud down and go to some type of cover 2 concept. Even if the mic pushes, you'd really like to win the option route back inside, because if the mic vacates, that's where the hole in the window is going to be. But you're giving that option route a three-way go, so that if the mic pushes and the quarterback comes back, you've got 3 chances. So you've got inside win, you've got flat release or outside to the flat win, and then you've got kind of the hook it win right there, or the spot check down, whatever you want to look at it. All right, just kind of becomes a inside hitch route, however you want to look at that, or whatever your terminology is. But he's got 3 choices. He can win it inside, he can win it outside, or he can sit it down right where he is in a window if there's a window there. So if the mic pushes, we know that we've got a chance to win on the option route. If it's man or man free, we know that we've got alerts built in. And now if the mic doesn't match or doesn't push, we know that we should be able to win, hopefully, off of what the Sam's doing. If the Sam expands to the flat, now we've got to win on the stick route. If the Sam stays on the stick route, now we've got to win to the flat. The only thing that, to me, that might mess that up is some type of hard or clouded cover 2. Now we've probably got to throw the whole shot in that window out there before the free safety can get over the top. Protection's going to be half slide. We're going to turn the center away from the back, slide to the back side. All right, now the quarterback's got his eyes front side because we're reading the mic anyways. Any blitz, we might have to get rid of the ball, whether it might be an alert if he thinks it's man-free and he's got to get it out of his hand. All right, or it might be a possible hot throw, maybe to the stick route, maybe to the flare route, if he gets 2 guys coming off the front side, all right, or if it's free release, it's 1. If the back was in protection, it would be 2. All right, so you could possibly, in a shot world, I could certainly see you living in a shot world where you've got the back in protection, so it's 6-man to shore it up, and you might be going something like double post on the front side, trying to take shots on the front side with the H option on the back side. But today we're talking about it as a stick theory on the front side. A lot of things you can do on the front side, and obviously the more, when you get to the higher levels of football, or the more intricate you want to get with your passing game, you can build the H option in with a whole bunch of things, 3-man levels over there, or some other routes that you can, all right, manipulate on the front side. The only thing that's going to change is the option that you give to the back, or the H, because if you've got routes that are working back in, then you're probably going to eliminate the inside win option potentially from him. So you're only going to give him the inside win option if you're staying with stick or things that are progressing on the other side of the field. Anytime you're bringing things back, you may not want to give him, depending on the spacing, you may not want to give him the option to win back inside, right? So if we drew it up in 3x1, again, it would be either condensed split. I'll tell you what I like a little bit better is a little bit tighter but not exactly condensed split, and the burst corner, which is what I like a lot better. All right, so now the version out here to the 3x1 side would be the wide hitch. All right, win on the angle, find your angle, win on that angle, or find your space and win to that space. Stick. All right, so now we're going to set the protection away from the back. And now I like burst corner. And now the H option. Okay, and again, from here, if we're working stick on that side, we can give him 3-way go, where now he can win it inside, he can hook it up, or he can win it outside. So now when it's 3x1, it's not necessarily a read away from mic theory, but it's kind of a read away from safety. It's 3x1, so we're going to look and see, do they borrow the backside safety to the trip side? If they borrow the backside safety, excuse me, to the trip side, unless they are dropping 8, we are probably getting man-to-man from the corner, man-to-man from the will. If they rush 4 and they borrow the backside safety to the front side. If they rush 3 and drop 8, they can give some underneath presence on that side and maybe play at least get a possible 3-on-2 series. They might be able to play the corner high with a flat player and an underneath backer inside the hook. All right, if they're dropping 8, they can still borrow the safety that way and get kind of that 3-for-2 look to where now they can sit a backer on the inside release, put a backer on the outside, so it would probably become the hook route, and then over the top they could keep a deep half player with the corner. But if they're rushing 4 and they're dropping 7, if they borrow the backside safety, we think we're going to get man-to-man, so now we've got burst corner H option to win in the man-to-man world. Okay, if they don't borrow the backside safety and they're going to stay 3-for-2 on the backside, okay, so now they're going to stay 3-for-2 and maybe they're going to spin. And maybe safety will come down to play D-gap flat force, corner will be back off the half. Now they've got a flat defender and the will can drop. All right, as long as the Mike doesn't let a 3 cross his face there, the will can drop to get 3-for-2 on that side, and now they're still 4-for-3, okay, on that side. So now what we've got to do is if they leave that, we're probably going to work this way, and if it's this version of the stubby, all right, mini, whatever you want to call it, now we've got to figure out a way, if it's press man and we can't win here, and this is the concept we have on, then we're probably going to try and win with the vertical route on the nickel and get our one-on-one matchup outside and try and take the route to the nickel. Now again, not saying that this route combination would be the coverage beater for that coverage. The only reason I've got this coverage drawn up is because it doesn't borrow the backside safety. Right? So if they were going to borrow the backside safety, you'd probably end up in a world where it looked something. It doesn't necessarily have to be, but it would look something like that, with him leaning to the middle, and then they're playing their normal 3-on-2 concepts out there, okay, with palms or whatever you want to play, and now he's poaching the backside to the middle. Okay, so the only reason I draw up those 2 coverages, those aren't the only 2 3-by-1 deals you're going to see, and this isn't the only front side combination with the H option on the backside you're going to see. I've got the H option drawn up right now with the stick concept front side. So when I show you those 2 coverages, the only reason I'm showing you is one coverage doesn't borrow the backside safety, one coverage does borrow the backside safety. So now in the 3-by-1 world, we're going to kind of take a look and say, do they borrow the backside safety? If he's a trip side player, we've got to win back to the single in the back. If the backside safety stays, so you split the field just like we would do on defense, split the ball or the field right down the middle where the ball is. If the backside safety stays on this side of the formation, then we're going to have to win over here. Now again, other combinations you could possibly be coming. All right, you could possibly be coming with some type of 3-man levels back here. Okay, and again, if you did that, maybe you would take the inside break off of him. But you could possibly be coming 3-man levels. You could possibly be coming, okay, some type of deal where one of these guys, you might be able to go spot, snag, and now you've got middle of the field open to the post, middle of the field closed, maybe an over route. All right, so you've got different options to the 3-by-1 side. I've got it drawn up with stick with the H option backside, but you've got some different things you can do to the 3-by-1 side. You just understand it's either 2-by-2 we're reading away from the mic, 3-by-1 we're checking backside safety. Do you borrow him to play the trips? If you do, we're going back to the burst corner or the corner option route. If you don't borrow him on that side of the field and you leave him on his side of the field and you leave 3-for-2 on that side, then we're going to try and win to the trip side. Now, an interesting, neat little way to wrinkle that up, again, to get that compressed look, and it gives it some window dressing. Get into empty and put the back out at number 1. So now take your outside receiver and play him tight. Put the back out here at number 1. All right, tailback H, whoever you want to look at. And now if you're running the same theory and you're going wide hitch, slot fade, stick, bring him back into the backfield here, and now go corner, T or H option, whatever you want to call that guy. So now you've got empty. You give him an empty look and see if there's some type of empty check or something you like that they get into. And now you've got the number 1 technically looking like he's the number 2. That looks like a standard 2 receiver set, nothing too funky with the splits. as soon as you bring the back from here, that now becomes the number 1, and he's now compressed. So you're kind of hiding how you compress that number 1 receiver by lining up an empty and making him look like he's the number 2. You're hiding that compression because right now he looks like he's the number 2. And then all of a sudden when you bring him back, now you're in that compressed world where you can get back to the theories you like. So that's a little something in the passing game with H option. You see it, the big timers do it all the time. You see it in the NFL all the time. You see it in college football all the time. It was big when at LSU when Joe Brady was at LSU and they had they had Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. A lot of times Jamar Chase would be that single running the burst corner or the corner route, and then Edwards-Helaire would come from empty back there and run the option routes. He was really good at it. So big time theory. The Chiefs do it with Kelsey a bunch. Big time passing theory. Single side option stuff, trying to get the matchups you want and beat the matchups you want with some type of front side trips or 2x2 with push motion read away from the mic theory. So hopefully that helps you out. Hopefully it gives you guys an option back to the single where you can get into some kind of isolation deals with the single and some option routes back there depending on the coverages you see. Hopefully it gives you just an idea of how to play with formations and how the slight wrinkles of motioning a 1 in to be a 2 or a 1 in to be a back, and now you get a compressed look without having to show a compressed look with the single bunched in, so that you can break some tendencies a little bit and do some things that doesn't necessarily trigger the defense to what you're doing. So hopefully that video helps. If you guys have a better idea, put it in the comments. If it's something that you do on the front side of trips or 2x2 that you like better with that theory, put it in the comments. Make sure if you are not a subscriber, you click that subscribe button. Make sure if you are a subscriber, you turn notifications on so that every time we do a video like this, you get an alert. Every time we go on YouTube Live, you get an alert. I was going to do YouTube Live Saturday night, but family game night took over, so I had to cancel that stream. So hopefully I'll be able to do one this week. As usual, comments, thumbs up, thumbs down. If you don't like the video, it helps us all the time. Shooting with a different camera today. Hopefully we're back in the world of using our camera and a little bit better quality and a little bit better audio, a little bit better visual. All right, but again, second month now at the new school. I'm still trying to work out the board I'm using, the lighting that's there. So this is my planning period. I'm trying to do all these things while still teaching 5-6 periods in a day, still coaching after school. So hopefully the audio, hopefully the video is better. But if not, just leave a comment, let me know, and we'll try and fix that as well. As always, I appreciate everything you guys do for Play Fast. Remember, you won't play well until you play fast, and I will see y'all next time.